My brother and I got started with the love of these cars from our dad.
I done laid the foundation to build it up to this here.
C.R. Patterson, Lewis Adams, and Booker T. Washington knew it was going to be a lot of money to be made shipping these newly created horseless carriages overseas to black people that wanted to buy them.
A lot of people didn't know that a black man actually designed and built that bike.
What he was known for is, being able to upgrade the electrical systems, so that you could literally run your car off of your tablet, your phone, or your watch. So this was something that he did to some very private and secret military vehicles, and apparently he was the only one who could actually do this.
One was like $26,000. One of my patent attorney did one of my patents for me for free. Why? Because I did 4 of them with him already.
We're doing a lot of the big rim race car stuff and some street stuff. And we're into manufacturing different parts. We're in housings, frames.
So that's more than a $5,000 job just to put your wheels on. The wheels itself might be about $10,000. This is revolutionizing lowriding right here. This is not the traditional.
Well, basically, that's the charger that's on board.
The first bike that put me on the map was my Michael Jordan bike. I designed that bike in 10th grade high school. I followed my dreams, never gave up.
Until you play the game, you really don't know.
It's $175,000.
I sold my trade. He gave me a suitcase full of money.
I said I paid $25,000 for this car. This car worth almost $300,000 or better. Easy.
When they closed down Terminal Island, we've been fighting for space ever since.
We the only shop that's had 4 different TV shows. I end up teaching an introduction level to automotive for at-risk kids.
By closing out certain types of education, what we're actually doing is we're attacking them economically.
When he gave me the 56, he said, if get your license, you can drive this car. But he also, too, said, I'm not going to work on it. I'll tell you what to do. You work on your own car.
This new generation is not really hands-on like we were.
I never went to a tire shop. I never went to a muffler shop. I never went to a mechanic shop. He did everything in the backyard.
In a perfect world, Doc would have been teaching classes at one of these HBCUs.
So now we're doing classes down here through West Coast Academy, and we're teaching automotive customization to students, where you can come down here and learn some aspects of automotive customization to help you further your interest in whatever it is you want to do.
Harleys are cool. It's cool to work with your hands. You don't got to be no crypto person. You don't have to be like fast money getting the stocks and whatever.
You're talking about a multi-million-dollar industry.
House again, Stone, for sure.
Yes, sir. We're back with a great show.
It's been a minute, brother.
It ain't been that long.
We ain't been on, man. So we coming back to we gotta come back and holler at our subscribers and our people.
Hey, this is the root of what we do, man. This is what we built. Whatever we doing, this is what started it off, man. Doing the interviews. And I think this the first one where we actually circled back and got one that we already had. So I want our Stone and Bone community, I want y'all to welcome back T.J. Loftin.
Yes, sir. Yes,
if y'all remember T.J.,
yes,
he's the man that was showing the Stone and Bone community how real estate and how the car community is something that's that could be very empowering for our community. So we need to lock in on this and see what type of trades and what types of investments that may could help us out as a community. So we blessed to have TJ back with us, came back on. What's up, TJ? How's everything, man?
Man, I'm just humbled to be here. I appreciate y'all giving me another opportunity to come share with the community,
Hey, man, we appreciate you, man. And we know, once again, TJ he's from out of Compton. So we going over the hill. We trying to reach we trying to show the commonality of our culture, man. Just because they over there don't mean that it's not a whole lot in common and a whole lot that we can learn from each other and a whole lot of business that could be done. So I want everybody to understand that. Open your mind and let's learn something.
Yep. It's a Compton perspective tonight. We want to hear our Compton brothers' perspective, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get a chance to hear their perspective. So we finna let TJ holler about his perspective.
So TJ, so I know, like, you know, last time we got all into your background and how you grew up and all the different cats you ran across during your upbringing in Compton. So this time, you know, I think, you know, I think you want to. I want to focus more on the you know, your love for cars, how that started, and the moves you're making right now with the documentary and your the people who inspired you, those living and those not living. So I know you go deep with it, man. So how did you get inspired to start dealing with the cars the way you do?
It's in my blood because my dad was a master diesel mechanic. He was a master mechanic, you know. And my great granddad, everybody was mechanics. Everybody, all these cats was tradesmen, you know. So it was funny, man. They told me about my dad when he tried to retire. He worked at Penske Trucking, diesel trucking, and he got old. He got sick. You know, he couldn't really walk that well. But he told them cats he about to go on and retire, man. He said the owner came from upstairs and was like, no, you cannot retire, man. He's like, dude, these young cats don't know what they doing because Pops, he could just listen to the diesel and say, no, so this ain't gonna make it, man. We need to take this apart. You know what I'm saying? He knew all about the cars. He could just listen to it and tell you what's wrong with it. Where them cats want to run diagnostic tests and all that. They was like, man, Pop, they told Pop, pull up to the back door and we're gonna roll out a wheelchair, pick you up and push you up to the truck, and you tell these young cats what to do. So I think that passed down because nobody was really surprised when I became a car builder, celebrity car builder. They like, oh, your daddy used to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, wow.
So did so Pops had you in the front yard, backyard, helping him out, passing him the tools and shit like that? Give me that wrench, boy. That type of thing.
I didn't know when my granddad did that. My pops and moms had broke up at a very young age when I was young. So granddad did all that. You know what I'm saying? But pops and granddad bought me a little red toolbox. Like, here you go. Go and do what you got to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Little red toolbox made your brother some bread, man. Some real money.
Hey, man.
Question.
I'm laughing. Go ahead, Bo.
Okay, check this one out, though. How old were you when you first got back to with Pawpaw? How old were you when you, Grandpa, when you first had you come out there? How old were you? Did you remember your first experience when you got out there and started messing with Grandpa with the tools in the cars?
I had to be about 8 or 9 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And Grandpa's, when Mom said something was wrong at the house, she called her pops, tell Grandpa, hey, the toilet tripping, this is tripping. He'd be like, is TJ there? And she'd be like, yeah, he'll be there. He's like, because he wasn't going to do it. He'd just tell me what to do. So I'd be sitting there young and just wrenching away. And, okay, this the one on the left. No, your other left, you know?
That's tight. That's tight.
You became a handyman at a young age. That's really
Hey, dude. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all, man, because I get on my mom. I tease her now, but I'm gonna tell you, I was 7, and I got a red toolbox for Christmas. I swear, I got a red toolbox for Christmas, bro. I love that thing. My bike chain used to pop off. I could get out there. I knew how to get my bike chain back on.
Right.
And that was I had pride in that thing.
And yeah.
Man, I went to spend the summer with my grandfather, and mom's moved, and I got her not knowing just what that thing was. Man, I came back and she had put all this stuff all in messed my toolbox up, man. I was sick. I was sick. So I know about that little red toolbox, man. That's
you the first person. That's right. That's right.
Deal, man. But so yeah, man. So that must have been now probably back in the day when you was doing all that work with Grandpa. You probably was like, God, dog, I gotta do this. But now, probably when you look back on it, you like, man, them was some hell of a times to be spending, huh?
Yeah, it you know what? It was just an honor to be hanging out with my grandpops and doing stuff different. You know what I mean? Because he didn't come. It wasn't like he was over there every weekend. It'd be like once a month. You know what I'm saying? Every other month. It seemed like when something break, he come through. You know, or things outside of the traditional Thanksgiving or Christmas or. You know, we didn't. Grandpa didn't just come through like that. He had to call him and tell him something. You know. So, but when he came through, it was an honor, man. It was like I remember when he taught me how to change the seal in the toilet was leaking in the bathroom, and the toilet was like, you know, with all of that. So Miles called Grandpops, and Grandpops had me pull the screws off and pull the toilet off the floor. I was like, wow, there's a hole in the floor, you know. So hey, so like what was it like? I was 8 to like 20 years, 15 to 20 years later, I got this big ass pad in Palmdale, and I told my toilet started leaking, right? And then I told my ex-wife, I said, yeah, I'm gonna go and fix that. She was, what? Like, no, like, you know, this is an expensive house. You gonna mess the house up, you know? That's just called a plumber. I was like, nah, I did this before. She was like, when? I was like 8 years old. She was like, no, I'm calling the plumber. I'm like, no, you're not.
Change the technology by now.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Don't even worry about it. I'm over here building cars. I can change the seal of the toilet, you know. So next thing you know, hey, I did that. It was over with. She said, wow, you know how to turn the wrench. Like that was, I realized there's brothers that really don't know how to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And sisters be like, they be scared. They don't want to touch nothing because they not used to us knowing. So when they meet, you know, but then when they find out about us, they get kind of out of control because I remember we needed a ceiling fan change. No, they came to the pad. I had one of them 3-story voltage ceiling lights, big old fancy light over the door. Hey man, them cats come over to the house to look at the address and be like, it's on. You know what I'm saying? So they come over there, they like 5,000 to hang that big old chandelier, and you know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, I ain't giving nobody that kind of money to do nothing. I'll do it myself. So I turned around and went and got some equipment and I changed it. And the next thing you know, this chick went and bought 10 more ceiling fans. I'm like, nah, we not doing all that. Hey, you can do this next Saturday. No, I can't. You know what I'm saying?
Got you a honey-do list.
Hey, I didn't like that one. Nah, we're not doing that. I'm not spending my whole Saturday hanging ceiling fans and all this, you know. So, but that became the thing because the culture, which shows we got a serious need for black men to learn how to work with their hands, you know.
Brothers that want to know how to work with their hands. Nah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
And if they catch them at that young age, you know what I'm saying, before they get out the house and start teaching them then, it's gonna always be with us.
When did you start? When did you get your first car? Let me ask that. When did you get your first? When did you learn how to drive a car? How old were you when you started driving a car?
Man, I probably was about 14, 15, less than that. I was young, you know what I'm saying? I was probably like 14, 15. But then I got my first car about 17.
About 17?
You know?
Yeah. Did you already know your way around under the hood by the time you got your first car, or did you?
I knew enough to be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I knew enough to be dangerous about how to change the battery, how to give a jump. You know what I'm saying? I knew enough to be dangerous, but I wasn't finna go rebuild no motor or nothing. You know what I mean?
Okay. So
first car. What was the first car that you drove?
81 that I drove? Oh.
Yeah, your first car ever that you drove.
Man, that's a good question because I was kind of messing with everybody's cars, you know. I know my brother had me in the Suzuki Samurai when I was. That's how I learned how to drive a stick in the Suzuki Samurai. Man, we had all kinds of foes and trays and all kinds of stuff that I was like.
Okay.
You know, Monte Carlo, 79 Monte Carlo.
Your brother was low riding already, or he already?
Yeah.
You got an older brother that was already in the cars too.
My play brother name was Cap, and he was that guy, pick us up, take us to school, do all that kind of stuff. So he would be showing us how to do stuff, you know. But yeah, taking us to school and, you know, all that type of stuff. But he would always have us over there working on cars, doing all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean?
Did you guys have auto shop in school or anything like that?
And that was the game changer for me, yeah. They put me in auto shop in the 12th grade. I think I was ready to drop out. I was so bored in high school, man, and everybody was making money and, you know, going out of town, doing all type of stuff, and I was ready. I was like, man, you want to go? I'm like, man, mom's going to kill me. I need to finish school. But I was really considering it. But then all of a sudden, they was like, put me in this auto shop class and put it in last period. Because they knew if they put it in first period, I might be gone by then, you know, after that. So now I got to wait all day. But yeah, I love some auto shop, man. That's when I got my first A, man. It was like, I got my first A and they snatched me out of that class so fast it wasn't even funny, you know. But yeah, I love Miss A. You know how many teachers we had growing up.
Right.
I can't remember probably but 2 teachers, and Mr. Patton was my auto shop teacher, by far the baddest teacher I ever had in my life. Mr. Patton was the man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he taught me a lot. I learned a lot about fixing stuff and doing things, but I've always had a lot of coaches outside of school too.
Now,
you know?
They didn't have auto shop at neither one of them. I went to 2 high schools, and I don't remember them having auto shop. So, who brings the cars to work on? Like, how do you guys get cars to work on, or how do the parts come there?
At auto shop?
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked that question, because years later, I went back to my school at Centennial where I had my auto shop class at. I got an opportunity to go back and be a part of that, and I became an advisor to the Compton School District. So I would have myself and my guys would be dropping off cars up there. You know what I'm saying? So we had a Navigator up there. We had a 68 up there. No, what was it, 69 up there? 69 Chevy Impala, Caprice, whatever it was. Man, we had everybody. That's all I used to tell everybody. You know, I'm in that auto shop connection relationships. So I would tell all the homies, hey, drop something off if you ain't using it, you know. So we would get new cars up there, all kind of stuff. People were just dropping them off. Or I would take cars up there to be worked on. That was my own personal cars. So I got all kind of pictures and videos of me up there at the school working on cars with my students, you know. I got to go back and do field trips with them. Hey, I even went back, man, and we collaborated, and we rebuilt the whole auto shop. So I stripped that whole auto shop down to the concrete and brand new HVAC, brand new plumbing, brand new everything, brand new floors, brand new toolboxes. I had everything brand new. We even bought some $70,000 electric cars, 2 of them in the box, brand new in the box. So it was like, hey, y'all take this out the box and y'all put that together. They like, what? That's like 1 million pieces. We're like, you know, y'all gonna put that together. It's just a big old frame. So, hey, that was one of my proudest days, man. But like now, like I got all kind of pictures. I done took them to lowrider shows. Took my students to the Pomona Raceway to see the race cars. The pilots flying in by private jet. Talking about this mechanic make $1 million a year, and these guys make $400,000 a year to work on the cars, because you know they out there snatching engines out and changing them in 45 minutes type of stuff, you know, so they can get back in the race and stuff. So I wanted them to see all that. So we went to the LA Auto Show. You know, I had them everywhere, man. My students loved that, you know. But that was the problem. The problem with that was that the people that look like us, they didn't want their kids doing mechanic stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you got $1 million car builder coming up here teaching the game that ran the biggest lowrider shop in the world, that got homies, we did TV shows and working with dealerships and all kind of stuff, and y'all don't want your kids learn from us?
I'm I'm glad you went there, bro. Cause we got a common idol, a common person that I've always, when I learned about his story and his thought process, I've always like, wow, that's like one of the greatest human beings that ever walked the earth. Booker T. Washington. I already know.
Hey, he bigger than you think. He bigger than you think, homie.
Hey, man, when it comes to what our community needs, like right now, we need somebody thinking on them type of lines that can let us, that like how you was just saying, you got these youngsters growing up and their parents don't want them to do certain jobs or go into certain fields, and Booker T was the exact opposite. He was like, we not gonna worry about the math and all that stuff. Let's go learn how to put pipes together. Let's go learn how to grow food. Let's go learn how to do the things that's gonna make us a community. He was like, we don't even need to vote. So it's like that dude and his mindset and that way of thinking, man. So talk about how Booker T inspired you, and then let us know what he did for the car industry as well. See, I didn't even know that part till I was looking at that snippet you sent me. So put us up on that, man.
So Booker T, man, you a rare brother. It's not a lot of people who really put Booker T out there.
They don't teach him in school. They don't teach him in school. So
right, he's the most hated person.
Know about the greatest.
Booker T is the most hated person in history. They don't even mention him, like you say, but I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah.
So I'm working on a documentary, right? I'm gonna start from the beginning. I'm working on a documentary, like, hey man, I'm gonna do a documentary about myself. I feel like I accomplished some stuff that people need to know about. You know, let me give myself my flowers, because if I don't do it, nobody else will. You know, so I'm sitting down. I start feeling guilty as I'm working on this doc. Then I say, man, I can't do it because Terry Carter and Gary May, Ernest Howes, Homer Walters, all these low-riding OGs was my teachers. I'm sorry. They was all my teachers. So how am I going to be talking about me without talking about them? So I go back to do them, talk about them. I say, okay, well, I'm going to put me to the side and I'm going to work on us and talk about the other lowrider guys. And then you know how when you do, every time you watch a documentary, they always go back, well, back in 1973 and all of that, right? So I said, okay, well, let me go back and give a little automotive history. So I'm digging around, looking and researching stuff. Okay, well, C.R. Patterson. You heard of C.R. Patterson, right?
That name sounds familiar, but
okay, well, that's a name you got to rock in history, bro. I'm finna give you a history lesson, unlike nothing you ever heard. In your
Lewis Adams.
You might want to take some notes, brother. I got to sit up for this one. Booker T, homie. I don't know how deep y'all want to go, but I'm gonna break it down to you how it went down.
Let's break that history down. This is history. Come on and break it down. They need to. We need to know this. Us, our subscribers, the community.
It started off with back, man. We go back to the 1800s, right? To 1800. Horses and carriage was doing their thing, right? Now, all during the Gilded Age, all this new technology, these inventions started coming about, right? All of a sudden, you had a lot of black men had horses and carriages, and they like, man, we in 1800, this thing called the first true battery came out. Big old battery, right? It was like 10 water bottles made with something in it. That was a battery back in the days, right?
Right.
Then here comes 1802. Here comes, what was it? 1804, something like that. The first electric motor came out. So now you got brothers tinkering like, man, I wonder if I took that battery and that electric motor that makes stuff spin, what if I put that on my horse-drawn carriage? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe we don't need the horse no more if I can figure that out. So now you had a lot of us was thinking that way, and everybody was tinkering and start trying to go to patent that idea, right? Now you got brothers walking to the patent office in 1814 and 1810 and 1820 trying to patent stuff, right?
Right.
And the white folks was like, what the hell? What is that? You know what I'm saying? What's up with that fool right there? Got that horse. Where's this horse at? You know, they didn't understand what was going on. So fast forward the story, they started peeping out like, wait a minute. If somebody figured that shit out, that shit's going to be something big. I would want one of them. You know what I'm saying? So the white folks said, we need to start pushing this shit called a patent more. You feel me? Like, we two races out here. Anyway, I don't want to tell the whole movie before it come out, but fast forward the story, that's where it came from. So now all of a sudden, nobody really could, I don't know if nobody could figure it out, or the Klan started burning up people's houses and start stealing their inventions so they could go patent it. You feel me? So when you start looking at lynchings, homie, that shit started when black men started walking into the patents office. That's when it became normal. Because before that, it was every now and then. But now it's becoming normal because of all these black men walking into the patents office. Put it like this. That shit got so serious, these fools went and burnt down the patent office twice. Twice. Can you imagine that? They like, it's too many black men, Negroes, walking in here patenting shit. You know, like, this ain't cool. So white folks got smart, said, I'm going to cut a whole lot of this out, but that plays a pivotal role in why slavery really ended, homie. If you because peep this out like this. They talk about that Civil War to end slavery, right? Do you think that shit was for us? Or was there a real benefit behind it? So what made me dig into it was because I was looking at what did it take for us to push out lowriding, to get lowriding to become a household name. We had to separate it from the gang violence first, right? So we had a civil war in the hood in Compton, LA, and Watts. Niggas was like, y'all ain't finna let them niggas come over here. Y'all ain't finna have them Crips coming over here, or them Bloods ain't coming over here, you know? So we had a little civil war, and people realized, okay, we're gonna leave this gang banging alone so we can all go on Crenshaw, which y'all know, and hang out side by side, and ain't nobody gonna trip. So there was that civil war. So we had to end gang violence so we could turn around and make it happen. But you got cats out here.
TJ, real quick, because I got to emphasize this for my Pakoima brothers. So they heard you say, Bloods and Crips on the Shaw, getting along, and ain't nobody tripping. Is that what you just said?
That's exactly what I said.
Well, we was there, we know, but we just
know,
want to clarify.
I mean, we need that to be. We need that's like cats come to the Shaw knowing that this is pretty much neutral territory. You're gonna see this person, that person. Yep. We ain't tripping because we ain't trying to mess this up for everybody else.
If you
so everybody's invited, man. Everybody's invited. That's what we're telling you. Everybody.
I don't care what color your car is, what color your club shirt is. If you come down there to gang banging, look like you want to be gang banging, then maybe you might not want to go down there. But if you just pull up in your bright candy red car and just lay it and jump out and introduce yourself and, hey man, TJ said it was cool to come down here. Is he down here? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know TJ, okay. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you home, hey, that's the safety zone. You good. You ain't got to worry about nothing. You pull up in your lowrider, red, blue, whatever color it is, and just park and enjoy yourself. You be ready for a whole lot of people going to be walking up to you, asking you who painted that, who built your engine, what you got in the trunk, man. You might as well, can you give me his phone number? It's a neutral zone, homie, and we fought a long time to make that possible. You know what I'm saying? We was out there so cool for so long that the city got mad. I was like, y'all mad because we out here getting along, singing Kumbaya? Now y'all want to harass us and be tripping on us, you know?
Get back to where you was. The gang bangers went through the Civil War and they back and it's cool to hang out on the Shaw. All right, so
It was more high-powered kingpins, gangsters that wanted the gang violence to end than it was those that was bitter and wanted it to continue. You feel me? So they was outranked, and you seen it for your own self. You was a part of it. Y'all was a part of it. And I appreciate y'all coming out. As a matter of fact, you know, that meant a lot, man, because we need all the love out there we can get. Everybody with the podcast, everybody with the rappers, everybody. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. We still got to work on them cats. You know what I'm saying?
We working, man. We learning, man. This is something that we're investing our time into, learning how it's working on the show and all that too. So we're trying, and we're gonna be a big part of this if we're able to continue doing what we're doing and out there reaching the community.
We're gonna keep doing what we
y'all doing a great job about it, homie. Like I said,
let's not lose Booker T, man. Give me the Booker T, man. What he do?
So,
and then who'd you say? C.J. Patterson?
C.R. Patterson.
C.R. Patterson.
Charles Richard Patterson. You know what I'm saying? C.R. Patterson. Brother turned around. He started a horse-drawn carriage shop, and he was building them so he could learn the game, right?
Right.
But he knew this happened about 1873. He invested into that shop, and they started building these horse-drawn carriages. But he already knew it's a lot of brothers out here tinkering around with this thing without a horse, this horseless carriage, right? So he turns around and starts the thing. The best way to learn the game is to buy a carriage facility so you can learn from the bottom to the top, right? Work your way up. So he learned how to build those, and that way he was making money while he figured out how to master why can't nobody figure out the horse-drawn carriage, you know? Because what it was is they had them batteries, and they didn't last long enough. They wasn't lasting, you know what I'm saying? By the time you put weight on it, you start driving down the street, and the thing is made of all this wood, and it's heavy, you know what I'm saying? So it was draining the batteries too fast. You'd be able to drive 2 blocks before the battery died. So the technology needed work, so the brother sat back for years working, and then he eventually bought out his white boy. He had a partner that was a white boy, right? So he bought him out. Once he figured it out, he bought the white boy out, and he bought on his sons, right? Now he figured out the game. Now keep in mind, he watched all these brothers who tried to walk into the patent's office and was lynched. He watched all those guys that was tinkering, houses got burnt down, right? So he was like, we're not going to go that route. You know what I'm saying? Right. Fast forward the story, he reached out to his homeboy and said, hey, man, I got this master plan. This thing going to be an industrial revolution. This is going to revolutionize the world because I didn't figure it out. But I need help putting it out because I don't want it to just be me. So I need my boys, I need my people to come with me. Same thing. This is my story. When it was time for me to open that lowrider shop, I'm like, I can't just put it anywhere because, you know, niggas out here gang banging for real. You know, back in my days when I started, every lowrider shop was a hood shop. Like that was the Denver Lanes lowrider shop. That was the Grape Street Watts lowrider shop. That, you know what I'm saying? It was like that. So you couldn't, nobody could really go to anybody else's shop, and it was real hard to get cars cut. It was always a hood thing. So I'm peeping out how C.R. Patterson knew I can't just go anywhere because they gonna lynch a brother. You know what I'm saying? It's like the stories is running parallel. So all of a sudden he reached and called his boy, say, hey man, this is what I like to do. He said, I just want to put them together, but I want y'all to do the research and development. So we need to start some kind of school. We need to make sure only black people learn how to do this. We don't want this thing to get out because once other people learn, we're going to get locked out. You feel me? Right. You know how they do. Every time black people create something, white folks come in there and steal it, lynch it, burn them down, and take over it, and then you never hear about the black man that did it. So they already knew that, so they had a plan. So the plan was, okay, we in Ohio. I'm in Ohio building cars. Building carriages, but I'm ready to start building horseless carriages, right? So he reached down to Alabama to his homeboy Lewis Adams, and he tell Lewis Adams he's a pastor that already used to have a school, but he ended up closing it, right? Because it wasn't too much to teach that he knew. So all of a sudden, Lewis Adams, he talked to Lewis Adams, and Lewis Adams, he said, man, I got this idea. Keep this to yourself, called a Horseless Carriage, but I want you to create a school. And before we launch this thing, I want you to teach all the black people, create the recipe. Here go all my research that I did, teach everybody black this. And then all of a sudden, dude say, okay, we're going to start a school because that'll be the best way to do it. So boom, 1881, they started a school called the Tuskegee Normal and Industrial School. How about that? Normal and Industrial School, meaning it's a trade school, homie. There ain't no college, it's a trade school. So all of a sudden, he turns around, Lewis Adams take the lead on the school. Lewis Adams turns around and call up to Hampton University, call his boy and say, hey man, we started a school out here in Tuskegee, Alabama. We need a principal. We need somebody to come. We need a voice. I don't want to be the man. I want to be the man behind the scenes. So I need somebody that can speak good, somebody that know how to network. I need one of them smart kids that you got. They sent this dude down by the name of Booker T. Washington. He gonna be the principal, right?
So all right. So you said Tuskegee, the university, the HBCU, it started because of the horseless carriage technology?
Yep. Okay. Yep. So peep this out. So now,
wow, that's deep.
They turned around and they cracked the code. They started saying, okay, well, this is what I got. You know what I'm saying? But this don't last that long. But if y'all could just put some people on there and that's all they work on, and if they could take this thing further, make this battery technology last longer, you know what I'm saying? That would be of great value for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only lasting 5 minutes. But if you can get it up to an hour, that'd be wonderful. Y'all figure that out. Research and development. You know what I'm saying? This costs too much. You know what I'm saying? This comes from this plant. If you use that plant, but this don't grow, cotton ain't that great because it don't grow the way we want it to. If y'all can figure out something that's like cotton that grow faster, oh, bam, use hemp. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, figure all this out and let me know so I can keep building these cars, right? So now, boom, they turn around, they start coming up with all these improvements and making it better, more affordable and more efficient, and more black people is the ones with all the crops. They telling all the black, y'all grow this, y'all grow that. We can use this for this. We gonna use that for that. You see what I'm saying? That's why you hear, oh, black people came from agriculture. And they tell you, oh, cotton. No, that wasn't all we was growing, homie. So all of a sudden, now they got this horseless carriage, it's figured out, it's working, and now they need to raise some capital. They need to raise some money, right? So they turned around and they selling cars and stuff, and they talking to people. Now the white folks realize, they like, hey man, I see what y'all doing, I want to be a part of it. You feel me? You got a lot of cats who was monitoring the black community because they wanted to be there when the black man figured this shit out, right? Now you got some cats that's the richest cats in the world. What was back then, or probably is right now. The Rockefellers was hanging around.
Yeah.
The Carnegie family was hanging around. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden here they go. They say, we like what y'all doing. We want to support y'all. We want to be a part of this. So they find out, man, I'm gonna go a little deep on you, but say, hey, how long we got, bro? How long we got?
We got time, bro. We got some time. We hanging out.
Dude,
we chopping it up with TJ.
This is a very controversial conversation, and it's gonna change history. You're gonna have a lot of cats talking shit mad, but hopefully they do their research first. But most cats know who's wealthy, but I'm all about where the wealth came from. But fast forward the story. When white folks was watching blacks tinkering around trying to patent horseless carriages, they could never figure it out. The white folks couldn't figure it out. So they start watching and they realize, they say, okay, the blacks is moving away from the wood drawn carriages and they playing around with this steel, this new thing, this new technology called sheet metal and steel, right? They getting away from this wood. So boom, Carnegie goes and with it, Rockefeller Carnegie goes and buys up all the steel companies in 1870, right? Then Rockefeller in 1870 goes and starts buying up all the oil wells. Both of them at the same time in 1870 did that, right? Think about it. Boom. They don't know, but they understand that they're gonna need this to do them cars, them horseless carriages, right? So if we go think ahead and buy that first, we're gonna be able to make money off of everything. But we ain't got to try to figure out how to make a horseless carriage work. We'll let them figure that out, but we know they need these materials and resources, right? So that's how the white folks doing real. And to this time, to this day, they play the long game. They play, I want everybody to buy from me. You see what I'm saying? What can I do? What would be the power move here? You feel me? So boom. So they watching, right? Now they see C.R. Patterson is over there tinkering. They see he's over there doing stuff. Now he's trying to patent stuff on the down low, and they like, oh, he's on to something. Let's watch his ass, right? Boom. Now he passed it off to Tuskegee Industrial School. Y'all hear that title? That's the shit, because that back then they call it the Industrial Revolution, right? The second Industrial Revolution happened in the late 1800s. Fast forward the story, they figure it out. They watching everybody trying to see who's gonna figure it out. So now Booker T. Washington and them is over there secretly patenting shit in other people's names, doing stuff, making moves, right? So they see Booker T. then created a name for himself because the black folks didn't stop selling their cotton to the white folks. They even had the white folks, the black folks organized with all the cotton because now they got a new customer called Booker T and them, right? They said, we finna buy up all y'all cotton. Y'all don't need to grow cotton, just grow hemp and all this, right? So they looking like, what the hell, who they selling it to? What's going on, you know? So fast forward the story, there's a long cotton story about cotton farmers had formed a union. You could look that up, you know what I'm saying? Not a union, but a collective. They had like thousands of farmers had came together right there in the late 1880s. You see what I'm saying? This is that magical number right there. Everything in after 1881 is all Booker T in them, right? So all these big moves, all these power moves, this was all Booker T. Washington and them. So fast forward the story, they organizing everybody. Now you got to look at who is Lewis Adams. Lewis Adams spoke about 5, 6, 7, 8 languages, right? This dude, he was playing like me. This dude was behind the scenes. Like, I'm not the man. I'm behind the man. I just know him. You know what I mean? Don't know. What's my name? Don't worry about my name. I'm nobody. You know what I'm saying? This dude is the most mysterious guy. Nobody know too much about dude. You know what I'm saying? They barely admit that he knew about 6 languages or whatever. You feel me? There's a brother though, dark-skinned brother. Fat, but he was Booker T. Washington's coach. So now the white folks didn't realize Booker T and them got something big, and they decided that they want to get rid of this slavery. They want to stay away from all this racism and redo the South, because the South had that gang violence all over. Everybody like, oh, it's Watts and Compton. We don't want nothing to do with that because of the gang violence. That's how the South was. All the slavery and the lynching, we don't want nothing to do with the South. No, the South is bad. Leave the South alone. So they wanted to remove that stigmatism off of them, right? So boom, they went to Booker T. Washington and said, man, if you can, help us with this and launch this thing you're doing, we'll work with you. So they created this festival. It was a festival in 1895 in Atlanta, dude. I forget the name. It was something about cotton states, something like that, right? And Booker T helped put it together because the purpose of it was to bring, this is where they're going to launch all the new technology, right? Right. This is where they're going to launch all new technology and show you this new thing. Like a dude came in and he flipped the light switch from Chicago and the lights in Atlanta cut on, some shit like that, right? This was all new technology that was coming out. So they let Booker T help them to put that together, probably gave them the idea to do it, and said, man, we about to have an industrial revolution. So let's have a big meeting, where a festival where everybody comes out and bring their newest inventions so we can all collaborate and we can turn around and do what we got and invite all the rich people so they can invest in stuff. You know what I'm saying? So boom, Booker T comes out, he gets invited to give a lecture in 1895 in Atlanta, right? Booker T gets on stage, first black man that ever stood on stage in front of a bunch of white folks, right? Ever.
That's that famous speech. Yeah, I already know.
He gave that famous speech. Punk ass the boy, excuse my language, come in there and change the name of it, call it something, the sellout speech or something stupid like that, right? Where he was the collaboration speech. Like he collaborating with the white folks or something, right? But what Booker T really said, hey, we about to change history and we launching the Industrial Revolution. Meaning, black folks, we gonna stay over here. White folks, y'all stay over there. And we can do business together. We can make money together. You know what I'm saying? I want us, my people we're gonna be integrated over to segregated from y'all. And the white folks like that. So we're gonna be over there building industrial stuff, and we're gonna work with y'all over here. Man, the boys and them was mad. They didn't like that because they wanted us to be together, right? So that's why they called the Booker T a sellout. Yeah. But when he gave that speech, he met the president, he met the vice president, he met Rockefeller, he met Carnegie, he met all these billionaires, all these multi-millionaires. Keep in mind, they was millionaires back then, right? He met all of them. Dude, they were so impressed with that speech. Immediately, they gave this man money, everything he needed.
Yeah, they was funding him. Yeah.
So keep in mind, Booker T was a multi-millionaire back in them days. But you ain't never heard him say that before, have you?
I did. I figured, this what I knew that he had to speak in a way where he didn't seem threatening to the status quo. And he knew how to get bread up out of those rich dudes like Carnegie and Rockefeller, and he knew how to get bread out of them. So what he told them, like you said, we're gonna be over here doing industrial stuff. We're not trying to vote. We're not trying to be in y'all elections.
We don't know nothing to do with that.
But what he was really trying to do was create a nation. He was trying to give blacks a way to be self-reliant and not have to depend on America for nothing. We could do our own thing, not have to depend on them, and then they gonna respect us because we able to take care of ourselves. And now we'll have goods that we could trade back and forth with them, and we'll be our own nation. W.E.B. Du Bois and them, they was more into the integration, where they wanted to be all involved in the politics, and they wanted to do it within. They wanted to be within the system. Booker T was more outside the system, so it was. It's
right.
Man, dude was something else, bro.
So peep this out. In 1895, when that money started rolling in of all them white investors that wanted to be a part of this industrial revolution that's going to change the whole world, Booker T had unlimited money. He quickly started funding black cities. He was like, go out, buy some land, and take this briefcase with this black print, and y'all start growing these crops. Y'all start doing this. Y'all start doing that. Y'all start doing this, blah, blah, blah. Now he got, boom, people went out all over the country with those recipes in preparation for this thing called the Horseless Carriage, right? So every mechanic, Booker T was training black people. Tuskegee normal industrial school was training black people on how to fix a horseless carriage before people knew what a horseless carriage was. You see what I'm saying? He was teaching them how to make a horseless carriage before most people ever saw one. You feel me? That's how far ahead of the game they was. These cats was visionaries. You feel me? They said
one big reason I heard that they burnt down Black Wall Street was because them blacks had running inside plumbing already.
Yep.
Booker T had them. They was using the bathroom indoors. White people had to go outside.
Yep.
Still. That's why they burned. That's a big reason they was jealous of Black Wall Street and all that shit, man.
We was wealthy,
the
man.
technology we was on.
Put it like this. The word Black Wall Street, who you think coined that phrase? It wasn't called Black Wall Street back then. Booker T coined the phrase, said, this is Negro Wall Street over here. He said, these are Negro Wall Streets right here. And over time, when we went from Negroes to black, now it's Black Wall Street. Booker T called it. It was Negro. The origin of that term was Negro Wall Street. First coined by Booker T. Washington, dude. That was it. So before 1921, there was already Black Negro Wall Streets popping up everywhere. Up LA, on Central, New York, and all over everywhere. North Carolina, they've said, here go the money, go start an insurance company. Here go the money, go start black banks, black insurance company, black this, black manufacturing. Here go the money to start black schools. Here go, you know what I'm saying? Here go to Florida and start a black island over there. Here go the money, go buy that land for that island, and let's create a black resort so black people can go to the beach. See what I'm saying? So they set up infrastructure all over America. Everybody, when you look up history, homie, and you start looking up Bruce's Beach and all these beaches that black people had, all that shit came from Booker T. Washington for the most part. So,
TJ, why do you think they don't teach Booker T about Booker T. Washington in school?
Because of that. Because Booker T did not want us voting. He didn't want nothing to do with voting. Like you said, he didn't play the politics. He wanted us to be like the Indians are today. They got their own reservation, their own land, their own laws, their own city. That's what he wanted for us. But then white folks knew they got too much knowledge over there. We can't let them move over there by themselves. That's going to be the first smart city. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, tell me, because just because we own that, this is some other shit I learned. The federal grants, those government grants, like not grants, but those contracts like Elon Musk get and all that, the government contracts for building shit. Like when we came out of slavery, all the blacks was getting that. We was the ones that was able to build roads and able to build the White House and all the houses and all that. We was the ones that was able to do that. White people didn't know how to do that because they was using their slaves to do everything. So the slaves had all the government contracts and everything. That's the reason why America said we gonna open our borders up for immigrants to come in, and we need these poor whites to come in and lay down and start getting these government contracts because the blacks is getting too rich off this shit.
Yep. Because we had all the knowledge. First of all, we the ones that come up with all the ideas, the intellectual property, and they knew it. Everything that was invented, damn near, we created. The only thing white folks created was the damn patents office. And they only created that because they said, how can we get these Negroes to bring us their information and their knowledge and teach us, knowing that we didn't hung their fathers and grandfathers and raped their mother and sisters, you know what I'm saying? How can we trick them into bringing us all the knowledge? Oh, wow, let's open up the patents office. That's where they came from. But so let's keep this going, man. You got two different kinds. You got like three kind of white folks, right? You got the white folks that's smart enough to say, let's let these Negroes do what they got to do, and let's work with them. And that way we can get farther, and then at the right time, we can take it from them. You feel me? But then you got the other white folks that say, fuck that, let's burn all that shit down and kill everybody, right? Right. So then you got the other ones that say, I'm just going to go with the winner. You know what I'm saying? Whatever way they want us to go, that's the way I'm going to go with them. You know what I'm saying? Don't trust me. And it's probably another group of people say, man, that ain't fair how they treat people. You know what I mean? But regardless, the ones that's trying to take control and want to make sure white folks stay ahead of black folks, them is the ones that's the problem. You know, them is the ones right there. Pretend to be your friend. You know, these cats that's burning everything down, we know how they are and who they are. But anyway, so to break it back down, white folks say, oh man, Booker T, this fool over there going to the White House. He got invited to the White House to talk to the president. Then the president came to Tuskegee to see what this industrial revolution is going to look like. So he got all of this funding, and they saw he didn't build a mansion on the property. He didn't build up the whole school. They didn't created this thing called bricks, making their own special bricks so they can't burn down the black folks' houses no more. Because, you know, back then they just come through, the houses was made of matchsticks. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now they come through there throwing fire bombs and that shit hit the wall and bounced off the wall. You know, the shit don't burn to the ground no more. The bricks still be standing. It's like, oh, we can just build it right back. You know what I'm saying? Sweep all the burn stuff out and just boom, it be built back in 2 weeks again, you know? So that all came from them. Like you said, they had plumbing and everything. But fast forward, going back to what I was trying to say is, the white folks said, we're in trouble now. If these Negroes, they're over there advising the president on the industrial revolution, and they all becoming rich because they all over the country starting schools and starting black towns, and they all wealthy because they all got clientele and they not selling to us no more. They not selling to the white folks. So they decided, they said, you know what? We're going to put some agents up in there. We're going to weaponize them schools, and we're gonna take the lead, and we're going to take control of, if they're going to be talking to the president, they're going to be working for us. You feel me? They're going to represent the black community, but they're going to be working for us using the words that we told them to say. So you know what they started?
NAACP.
How about this? No, let's rewind back a little bit. Let me go back a little bit. So Booker T got all that money in 1895, right? Now they making all kind of money. They got black towns. They got a whole bunch of wealthy people. So him and C.R. Patterson starts the National Negro Business League. All wealthy black people. Y'all ever heard of that before?
National Negro Business League, no.
All the black people that own the banks, they own the insurance companies, they own the carpentry places, all the car builders, all these people, that was their organization where they had regular meetings monthly, and then they had big meetings annually, right? Founded by Booker T. Washington, C.R. Patterson, and Frederick Douglass Patterson, C.R. Patterson's son, right? Boom. Now white folks really mad, like, God damn it, this is ridiculous, right? So now they turn around and say, okay, we need to put some agents up in here. So they start educating black folks in other colleges, saying you're gonna become a Greek. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna become a Greek. We need y'all on the team, and y'all gonna be Greeks. You know what I'm saying?
You gonna piss some folks off, man.
Hey, it's all in history, dude. It's all in the history. Look up the history. I ain't making up nothing, dude. I'm just telling it how it is. In 1903, the number one person going after Booker T. Washington was W.E. Du Bois, and he was like one of the second person that got a degree. First or second person that got a master's degree or a doctorate or something like that, right? So him and this other dude named Trotter, and their whole mission in life was to go after Booker T. Washington and shit all on his name, turn up at all his conferences, go in there and make him look bad. That was their whole purpose in life. So that happened in 1903. Here come those Greek organizations, right? All of them ran by W.E. Du Bois and this other dude named Trotter, right? And then later they see Booker T got the National Negro Business League. They come up with this thing called what is that waterfall, man? The Niagara movement, right? Niagara movement came about 1908, 07, 08, something like that, but it quickly fell. It was led by Du Bois, W.E. Du Bois. So now the white folks come to Du Bois and say, hey, man, we need you with us. This is what we need. They said, look, we're going to start the organization and you just going to be the face, called the NAACP, 1909. See what I'm saying? Boom. This one's going to be government funded. You see what I'm saying? All the smart people, the Greeks is going to use this organization. They're going to all refer to this organization. Uh-oh, brother. What's going on, man?
Hey,
man,
this
I'm
shit
just telling you.
Hey, it's history. I know. I believe. I know.
Hey,
I know.
I'm just telling the history, how it happened, how I see it, and I challenge any one of them. Bring your materials, bring your reading, whatever you got. Let's sit down and have a conversation, but you can't dispute these dates. You cannot dispute these dates. You tell me the man Rockefeller said publicly, he said, I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of followers. You know what I'm saying? Something I know. I want a nation of workers. And then he go found education. He takes over education, really? And he founded the whole Greek movement. That was his idea. He financed it. He built the building for him up at Tuskegee and put his name on it. And that's where they was at. See what I'm saying? And every time, put it like this, to this day, when you hear somebody talking down on Booker T, it's always the higher educated person that got their degree, their doctorate. No disrespect to anybody, because a lot of them don't know the history, but that's where it came from. You see what I'm saying? Their mission in life was, like, I listened to them. Du Bois, when Booker T gave that lecture, the lecture was called the Atlanta Industrial Revolution lecture or something like that. Right. Du Bois changed the name of it and called it something about selling out. Like he sold out to the white folks or something, right? And when you listen to people talk, when they say, oh, it's called the sellout thing, I know, oh, you college educated. You've been researching Du Bois, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not what the name was. You see what I'm saying? That's not what the name of it was. And you don't know nothing about the Industrial Revolution. You're not talking about that. Booker T launched the Industrial Revolution. You one of them. So now you turn around and you keep looking at that. Then Booker T turns around and they realize, they said, man, all these black folks gonna want to join the National Negro Business League because they about their money. They about, we ain't got to vote, but we gonna control us some politicians though. You see what I'm saying? You talked about the immigrants. Back in the days, I forget what year that was, but they tried to pass a law because they was bringing all these white folks over here because there wasn't enough white folks in America or people, period, to build out this industrial revolution. Let's think about it like this. Before they do anything, they gotta get in position. That's what most people don't realize. We just think gentrification just popped up and, oh my God, the white folks got a Starbucks over there. No, they've been planning this shit for a long time so that they can win. So back then, when they knew this car was coming out, they started getting in position. Booker T said, we gonna get in position first because we know what all needs to be done. You got to think about it like this. How do we roll out this horseless carriage? We're going to need gas stations all over the country. We're going to need tire repair stores all over the country. We're going to need people selling oil all over the country. We're going to need mechanics all over the country. So black folks was being trained up for this. You know what I'm saying? We're going to need new inventions. We're going to need to patent those inventions. Who going to create the stoplight? A black man. We're going to need a stoplight. We're going to need a blinker. We're going to need a brake light. You know what I'm saying? We're going to need some headlights. So who going to make all that, right? So these was industry. So when you hear Trump talking about we need to make America great again, that was during the Industrial Revolution when everything we made was made here and people from all around the world was flocking here so that they can get jobs, so they can learn how to get, so they can invest in these new industries, these new ideas that's coming up. They're like, I'm gonna move to America and I want to start one of them things where they put some petrol inside of those carriages, those horseless carriages. I want to open up one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go buy some oil wells. Do you know we had black men that owned oil wells back then? That's why we owned all that land, but the black men that owned all the oil wells, they got a great start of history. Not the boys, but Rockefeller and them, they had all them cats took out. Because Rockefeller said he want to own everything that got to do with coming out the ground that's oil. See what I'm saying? Because he knew this was going to be it, and he wanted to control the market. So put it like this. Huh?
TJ.
Go ahead.
All of this that you telling us right now is in your documentary?
Nah.
Okay, I was about to say, because you about to, like, man, you giving them too
On the
much.
real, it's a whole different game right here.
So
this is a lot, but yeah.
I skipped.
That's all I needed to know. Okay.
I skipped. Put it like this. I skipped and touched a little bit here, a little bit there, and then boom, low riding and classic, all this old stuff. But anyway, I kind of got a little took away right there, you know what I'm saying? But
hey, man,
I'm working.
You like I said.
All you did is spit some knowledge, man. You spit some shit that did nobody know.
Booker T. Washington, to me, is probably the coldest. He the coldest black man in the history, man. Dude was something else.
Stone, the coldest.
Booker T was the baddest black man. He's right.
That's right.
His leadership.
The baddest man. He was the baddest man, not black man, but baddest man. This man launched something. This man had white folks coming to him for counsel, for coaching. He consulted white folks, but it wasn't just, keep in mind, it wasn't just Booker T. Washington. He had an advisor called Lewis Adams behind him. You see what I'm saying? You go up, so he had a coach that taught. He didn't do all this by himself. He was just the face of the movement. You feel me?
They took slaves, bro. Slaves that came out of slavery with nothing. And like he said, bro, they ended up building all these different towns, the technology they was coming up with. They taught them to be self-reliant, bro. Y'all got enough skills and enough brains to we don't need them to eat. We could grow our own food. We could build our own houses. We could build our own transportation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
let's talk about slaves. They want you to think slaves was just over there in the field picking cotton, right? You notice how it's always the slaves picking cotton, but there's never they ain't never slaves building houses, fixing cars, building nothing. It's always all they do. Every slave movie is picking cotton. But the reality was the slaves was making the dresses, they was making the clothes, they was making the alcohol, they was making everything. And then keep in mind, the whole United States wasn't in slavery, bro. They got this thing called the freedmen. You ever heard of the freedmen? California didn't have slavery. All these western states didn't have slavery. That was only that little pocket in the South. That's why the North and the South, that's why I put it like this. That's why General Motors and Ford and Chrysler is all in the North. Because they really wasn't rocking like that down there. You feel up there. You see what I'm saying? Them areas wasn't heavily populated either. See what I'm saying? So it's not like they want us to think, oh, all black people came from slavery. That is the furthest thing from the truth. Because the brother who built Washington, D.C., them wasn't no slaves. This brother came in there and laid the plumbing, laid the trenching, laid everything to put the White House up. And they thinking, oh, man, he was a slave. No, he wasn't.
Is that Benjamin Banneker?
Benjamin Banneker, if you really look him up, he wasn't no slave. You had a lot, like you see the movie 12 Years a Slave, that movie was like the closest thing to it, where he was up there free, and the white folks came in and said, who built that? Oh man, that was Jeff. Who did that? Oh, that was Jeff. Jeff is smart. White folks like, oh, we're gonna kidnap his ass and take him down to the South. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they did. So keep in mind, they was not going to the liquor store and say, oh, who was them bums out there? No, they go kidnap them. Nobody gonna miss them. They was looking for, they only kidnap people who was smart as hell. So you ain't got no C students getting kidnapped, homie. You got all the scientists and all the smart black people was being the ones that was being kidnapped, that had a background. You see what I'm saying? So all this stuff about cotton, that's some bullshit, dude. That's some bullshit. You had black people picking cottons, but you had some black people that was regulating shit, that was designing shit, because you had they had a law. White people were stealing black people's inventions, trying to patent them, and they had to pass some kind of policy like, you can't even answer these questions. We're not gonna let you patent this because you don't even know nothing about this, but you want to patent it.
So I've always heard that Henry Ford had a black dude that he stole the idea of the assembly line and all that shit from. I heard Henry Ford came up off of a black man too.
That came from George Washington Carver. When Booker T got all that money after 1895 and 1898, he hired George Washington Carver to be the leading scientist to come in there and help take this horseless carriage thing to the next level. So if you look at 1895, Ford wasn't nowhere to be found. He was still working a regular job. So he was one of them people that had turned around and was doing stuff that was still in the past. You feel me? He was that guy. So he was smart enough to say, oh, I know to get the ideas from these guys, but I'm going to do everything to stop that C.R. Patterson. Dude, do you know Henry Ford bought the train track? He bought the train company that goes up because they used to have a train. They used to be able to get on the train out of Tuskegee, from Tuskegee, and go all the way up from Alabama to Ohio and drop off the car parts that they was making in Tuskegee, right? Ford found out about that's how they getting all their parts up there. So Ford bought the train. And he said, we're not dropping off car parts no more over in Ohio at that right there. We're not dropping car parts off no more. So if you look up history, you'll see Ford bought the train company because he was trying to cut them off. Because he knew they was all working together and he was trying to make them cut they supplier off and they had to go through them because they've been trying to run him out of business. So everywhere, you got to think about it like this. Everywhere C.R. Patterson was going to ship cars, they was not making it. They had to put the cars on the trains. They wasn't making it. You feel me? They was destroying all this stuff and then they just cut them off.
Was Thomas Cadillac, he had a black dude that gave him the game too, huh?
All of them stole patents because Ford and Cadillac came out. Both of them came out in 1903. Both of them. Same year. You tell me. Both of them came out in 1903. But when you go back in history, they wasn't nowhere around when Booker T was talking about in 1895, talking about the Industrial Revolution. They didn't have Cadillac and Ford go give that lecture. They had Booker T. Washington gave that lecture talking about the vision of the horseless carriage and how it's about to industrialize America, how we gonna change the world with this. They had Booker T do that. There was no Ford and no Cadillac back then, but they both came out at the same time because they was at that conference and they said, this is about to be it. We got to take control of this.
I'm toe up.
So
all right. We at an hour 11. This is so fascinating though. We got to come up into some more modern. We got to get to some modern stuff too.
All right. So the documentary, man, I just really wanted to give put some respect back on Booker T's name because that disrespect, that shit really was annoying me. You know what I'm saying? Because how I found out about Booker T was people kept telling me, oh, you getting your Booker T on. I'm like, what? Who the hell is Booker T? You know, you out here doing your Booker T thing, somebody else said to me. I'm like, who is Booker T? You know? So then all of a sudden I found out, oh, he was a principal up at, Tuskegee University, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So now I'm doing my research, and things kept pointing to Tuskegee. Who made this? Who made that? Who invented paint? Who did that? Oh, George Washington Carver invented paint. Like what? Like, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff, automobile related, came from Tuskegee, dude. So moving it up further in history, and I'm gonna go real deep on you, bro. But I'm gonna leave the Gilded Age alone. When Booker T and them launched all that information, bro, that technology, do you know Ford came out, Ford came out, Cadillac came out, the Wright brothers came out, all these people came out. You see where I'm going with this, right?
Right around that time, yeah.
No, not right around that time. At the same time.
Same time. Yeah.
At the same exact time. So where the technology came from? Who? They said industrial revolution. Now you got this thing about Tuskegee Airmen. The government called Tuskegee and said, hey, we need y'all to build an airport over there. They said, okay, cool, we got it. We got it. We'll build that. Black men built that. They didn't have to come over there with no blueprints. Booker T and them did all that. You know, they had the technology. They was the ones building everything. All the people that knew all that came out of Tuskegee, dude, because that was the first trade school. And then I'll go real deeper. The dude that owned Sears was a black man that passed for white or whatever, and him and Booker T connected and said, we want to educate every black person that came out of slavery that need to know all of this black print you got. Dude, you know they started over 5,000 schools. Look up the owner of Sears, and look up them schools. They started with the Tuskegee black print. They started 5,000 schools in America that educated black people. You ain't never heard that. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing about Booker T. They don't want you to hear nothing about him other than that speech talking about the great compromise. You know what I'm saying?
That's what is, yeah.
So that right there is a game changer. So Booker T was a multi-millionaire, and Du Bois was just a fly on his shoulder. He's like,
hey, you're going to piss some people off.
But he also, you better look up Du Bois as a Marxist.
Du Bois changed his tune at the end of his life. He started saying he hadn't did all that shit. So he figured it out.
Hey, when Du Bois left, Martin Luther King took his place, wanting us to come back and be with them. How about that? Hey, but we're gonna leave that at that. I'm just telling y'all the real where history came from. He also, when he was getting ready before he got killed, what did he do?
Didn't he try to hook up with Malcolm?
He changed his way of thinking. He said, did I not lead? I led my people into a burning bush or something like that. Just like Du Bois did. They both admitted it at the end that they was basically being paid to mislead their people. That's what that was, because they destroyed Black America. That's what they did.
You don't think Martin always try to, I try to.
Come on, let's go. Say it.
With Martin, I say I'm right here with Martin. I feel like Martin Luther King didn't have Twitter, he didn't have social media, he didn't have national news and things like that to really get the word across on how blacks were being treated. So I feel if he had came with a more militant type style, that's what they would have shown him, like okay, they spraying y'all with water hoses. Okay, let me snatch a water hose and start beating up this dude, or let me throw a rock back at this fool that just, you know what I'm saying? If they do that, the people that run the press are gonna show only the part where the black dude was throwing the rock. They're not gonna show where the white dude threw the rock first. So I figure Martin had to, look, if we don't keep it cool, the rest of the world is never gonna know that they really sicking dogs on us spraying us down and doing the things they was doing if we don't, you know, if we don't let them do this right at this moment. How you feel? So what you think about that?
I think that's some BS, homie. It's called history was too recent. Booker T. Washington was too recent, and we saw all the things that he did. Everybody, mama knew about what Booker T was doing, and they knew about the wealthy organizations all over the country, right? And they knew we moving over there, we moving over here. But now Martin Luther King comes, and he got a dream that we ain't got to move nowhere. We can stay right here, and we're going to force them to give us jobs. We're going to force them. We're going to go over there and sit in a restaurant and let them beat on us and hit us over the head and spit on us until they turn around and give us a job and let us eat at their restaurant. So what did that mean? Back in those days, you had no choice but to go to the black restaurant, to the black hotel, to the black this, to the black that. And that's why, dude, you know, we got 100-plus-year-old black wealthy communities, black wealthy businesses.
But look, they could just without a civil rights law, they could just go to our black towns and burn them down and destroy our black towns, and the government, the United States government that we're paying taxes to, didn't have they was just like
they don't give a shit.
That's just what it is.
No,
So,
Booker T
still don't.
Put it like this. Booker T had already set it up, and that's what they was doing. Booker T had it all set up to say, we're going to work with we're going to get our own land, and we're going to stay over here. And I don't know if you heard it, but when the laws first passed, the government had to protect the black communities. I don't know if you knew that. Did y'all look that up?
Which one? What you talking about?
The government used to protect black communities. The military was set outside the black communities. If you look up history, they knew they had to stop all that stuff was happening. Booker T. Washington, way back before all of that, said, look, we don't want to be with y'all. We just want y'all to leave us alone. We're going to be over here, and we're going to set it up like that so y'all protect our communities from your white people coming over here bothering us, and we'll give you that technology. So there was no need for us to vote, for us to be a Republican or a Democrat. Just leave us alone. We're going to have our laws over there, and y'all have y'all laws over here. So it was Du Bois coming in and saying, no, we don't want that. So then it was followed up by Martin Luther King saying, no, we don't want that. We want to come together. We want to integrate. But with the effects of what Martin Luther King did, when we integrated, and now we lost all our black teachers. We lost a large number of our black businesses.
I agree
lost our black hotels.
I agree with that part.
That totally wipes out the whole black economic situation. Go ahead.
I don't think he purposefully was trying to lead us into a burning building, although I do feel integration did end up being a burning building. But I do feel that he went about that because, like you said, we had our own black restaurants. We had our own black, communities and things like that. But at the same time, I know that white people could just go to the black community and burn it down, or go to the black community and hang a black man and sit down and have a picnic. You know what I'm saying? Like
no. That was those integrated neighborhoods where all that was happening. The white folks, they did Tuskegee, but the part about Tuskegee, the white folks did Tulsa, Oklahoma. But did you hear the real story about that? Do you know, Google history, look up history, bro. Google history, Google this right here. Do you know that they called, when they burning down Tuskegee, that black men from the next town, all these other black towns, they sent their soldiers over there with guns. And they wore them white boys out, and 300, after they dropped that bomb and blew them up, because we was winning. And that's when they sent them in there and dropped that bomb, and they took 300 black men with guns to jail that night. But that shit was erased out of history. They don't want you to know that part. So them white folks was like, damn, we ain't doing that again. Hey, we was giving them hell. Don't let history tell you. See, history is coming from one side. They telling you the side that they want you to hear about, oh, y'all just laid down and we shot y'all and we burnt your shit down. That's what they want us to think. But the reality is you look up history, how many white men died that night? How many black men got arrested with guns that night? We won that war. How many black men came from what towns and fought them? They don't tell those stories because that's what we was doing. We wasn't just sitting back letting this happen, bro. They would burn something down, we go burn something down. That type of stuff was happening. But when you look up history, when they saw we was doing that, that's when they went and created the Klan. All of that type of stuff. And that's, dude, I could really go deep. I'm working on another documentary about the Gilded Age. That's really gonna go deep and tie everything together. But I'm gonna just show you, because we went two different ways. We had the boys people that went into higher education that wanted to be the intellectuals. And then we had we're going with Booker T, and we're going to work with our hands. We're going to put our bucket, cast our bucket where we stand. You see what I'm saying? Meaning we're going to work with what we got. This is all we got. We're going to work with this, the trades. See what I'm saying? So here we go in history. I look at all the brothers that was working with their hands. You saw the brother with the motorcycle that created the chopper. That was a black man out of LA. This brother said, this old Harley Davidson ain't working for me. I want my own style. So he cut the front forks off and tilted them and made them stick out long, and they called it the chopper. He raised the handlebars up like that, and then he turned around and made that, and boom, white folks seen it, say, hey man, we need y'all to put that in the movie. You know what I'm saying? We got this movie coming out. We want to make a movie around this motorcycle. White folks seen that chopper in that movie, and they said, fuck it, this is our official motorcycle. The Hells Angels, the people that said screw the law, they was the ones that said this is our official motorcycle, and the black men built that in LA. Dude, in the documentary, I broke that down a little more deeper. So we got historical movements. Black men started the, NASCAR and all that shit. That was all us. We started all that. We was the first ones running from the police. You know what I'm saying? That's where all that racing came from. Running moonshine. You feel me? So then you look at, we came up to history, and remember all these black men that graduated. Tuskegee went all the way to like 36 before they said, okay, Booker T died in 1915, the year that C.R. Patterson's car was released. Literally, they killed him months later. Right before it came out, they killed Booker T, poisoned him, right? So, boom, by 1936, they came in and changed his curriculum in his school. Now,
Washington was poisoned, you said?
Yes, he was. Oh, I didn't skip some stuff, but I was trying to not tell everything.
No, I feel you. I'm gonna watch the documentary.
But check this out. I'm gonna give y'all this little bit here.
I didn't know that.
Booker T, C.R. Patterson and Booker T, they needed to ship cars overseas to the diaspora. Think about it. See where I'm going with this, right? Who in history owns some ships?
I'm lost right there. Tell me, I wouldn't know. White man you talking about? I'm lost.
What black man in history had a shipping company?
Oh, Marcus Garvey.
Booker T and them knew. They said every time we ship a car from Ohio to California, it don't show up. Every time we ship a car from Ohio to Arizona, it come up damaged. So damn, they not allowing us to make money here. You know what I'm saying? So if we could get to the diaspora and ship cars overseas, it's all black people over there, everywhere. And that's where we'll make all our money. So Booker T had a meeting coming up with Marcus Garvey. And when they found out Marcus Garvey was coming to meet him, they poisoned him before Garvey got here. So when Garvey got here, guess where he went? Where did he go? Marcus Marcus Garvey get to America, man, and he saw the black print of what Booker T was doing, what CR was doing, what the National Negro Business League was doing, he lost his mind. He said, I'm going to be the guy that get the ships. I'll ship them to the diaspora. So boom, that is out of control now. He quickly got 4 ships. And they mad as hell about that. They mad, man. So, you know, they sabotaged that and said he go to jail for mail fraud for trying to buy a 4th ship. But anyway, that's history, bro. So I give lectures, by the way. I'm talking about this right now because when you start hearing this, like that trailer, that little 2 minutes and 23 seconds, that gave up so much game that everybody's changing position right now. Like, oh, shit, we forgot about the Industrial Revolution. But anyway, going back, so now you're going to start hearing a lot of speakers talk about this. So that's why I'm giving lectures today. That's why you can book me to come out and speak before the book come out, before the doc come out about the Gilded Age and what really happened with American history. You know what I'm saying?
I've always been ever since I've always been interested in that period of time, man. That Reconstruction era and all that.
Yeah.
That Industrial Revolution. That's always intrigued me because I know that's when blacks came out of slavery, and that's when they pretty much had that commonality, man. I search for commonplace within our people, man, because it's so much division. We got to be able to get back to where we had everything in common so that we could grow together and start running that business model like Booker T and those guys had. They had, you know what I'm saying? They had a cold business model, man.
Exactly. So why they keep calling me Booker T? Why they keep referring to me as Booker T, getting my Booker T in, doing my Booker T thing, or you sound like Booker T. I'm like, I ain't never read a Booker T. Washington book until recently. You know what I'm saying? But I would travel around the country and I would talk about, yeah, we shipping lowriders all around the world. We shipping lowriders Japan, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, Dubai, Kuwait, blah, blah, blah. Hey, man, you sound like Booker T. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that right? Who is this Booker T? Okay, I get it.
Jack.
Yeah.
Jack, tell us about some of the cats that's in the documentary that's still living. Tell us about some of the dudes that's living right now.
The biggest car builders on the planet, like you heard my boy say, I think he said in the trailer, he said, shit, we the biggest brand automotive customization in the world. That's Pimp My Ride, West Coast Customs. Half owner is a black man. Most people didn't know. Just like Booker T had his business partner over there. I mean, not Booker T, but Lewis, just like C.R. Patterson had a white boy, was his business partner. Big Dane got a white boy that's his business partner in 2026. They the biggest car brand on the planet, and that's my homeboy. We grew up in the same neighborhood, and he used to come to my shop. Dude used to work at the strip club down the street from my shop, and he was the lead bouncer at the club. He used to run the club, right? So he would come down there and look after me because all my clients would hang at his club, you know, at the, I think it was the Barbary Coast. It was either the Barbary Coast or the First King. You feel me? Hey, that's the same brother. That dude got a background, but I don't know if he talk about it because I ain't really watched all his shows, but that's my guy right there. So that's the biggest dude on the planet, the biggest company on the planet in auto customization. They over there starting burger stands at the airport. You know what I'm saying? They got a roller coaster at Magic Mountain. You know what I'm saying, dude? These cats, they build every celebrity's car. The presidents come up there, everybody. You got Joe Ellis. I'm talking about Joe Ellis in there. You wouldn't have a Tesla if it wasn't for Joe Ellis. You hear what I'm saying? The biggest car builder on the planet, mentally thinking of doing stuff and doing crazy way out stuff, is a brother named Joe Ellis, hidden in history. You ain't never heard of this brother. He's locked out of history. They don't want you talking about him. He's like the C.R. Patterson. You see what I'm saying? That dude was the inventor. He was out there, bro.
Hey, you know what else I seen? I seen in your video. Pakoima's in your video too, man. Tell him about Doc.
Okay, my boy Doc is in there. He up there got a shop in Lancaster. I bought him on back in the days when I had my shop. He was doing he was all about graphics, but he had a background in automotive. His dad had a junkyard, you know what I'm saying, in the car lot.
Right.
He come from the automotive industry, you know what I'm saying? So he came out of the automotive industry and was doing graphics for churches and all that stuff. So when he found out about me, and then I said, man, low riding out of control, man. We shipping cars overseas. So anything that got to do with a Chevy from 56 to 64, I want to buy it. So if you go out there and find it for me, I'll buy it. He come in, start working with me. Next thing you know, this brother got his own shop, doing very well. Doing very well. So you got Doc, you got my homeboy, man, just passed away. Brother out of Atlanta, the one that said it's a $175,000 Corvette. Psh, that dude was another rocket scientist, man. This dude said he had wrenches in his hand since he was 2 years old. So he was out of Florida, and when the dunk culture kicked off, he said, man, I got to be a part of that. He said, I'm finna go over there, you know. So he was a mastermind. Man, that dude was over there working on Lamborghinis, Ferraris. He did it all. He did it all. Painting, wraps, putting Bentleys together, putting kits on Bentleys, slamming them on the ground. Then you got my boy Kendall out of Texas. He an older brother. This brother come out of the NASCAR and shit like that, right? He said these young boys over here putting these big wheels on these cars and raising them up in the air, and this shit ain't right. He said, let me quit my job and go over there and help these young boys, you know what I'm saying? Teach them how to really get down. So he came out and said, we're gonna build the car around the big wheels and lay the car on the ground. Because back in the days, the big wheel cars used to sit up like trucks, 4x4s. He the one who got them laying on the ground on 30s. You know what I'm saying? That was Kendall. That brother, so he got big wheel racing school going on in Texas where he teaching all them cats the game. Hey, I thought I knew a lot of stuff, homie, and I ain't never really felt I needed to go back to school. But when I found out about Kendall, I was like, damn, homie, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put my camera down for a few months and go out there and take some classes and learn under this man, sit at his feet and learn from this man, because the stuff he doing, you heard in the commercial, did he say, I get $175,000 for that? You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. Hey.
What he said too.
And that's the part I appreciate about him, because these guys didn't want to talk about money. You feel me? They didn't want to sit on camera, but I'm like, I had to press them cats. I'm like, look, man, this is important. You know what I'm saying? Then we got my boy Harley Drew. We bringing in the motorcycle industry, and he coming there. This man's a Harley Davidson influencer. They over there building bikes cost 150 racks. You feel me? And this cat got 20, 30 motorcycles, and he do all the Harley. He do a lot of Harley Davidson commercials for him. You know. And what I love about him, man, he talked about stuff. He said, you ain't got to be no celebrity and no basketball player. He said, shit, I make that kind of money. Like, he just really went there. Man. Hey, man, I was sitting there in tears, man. I was so happy, man. They was breaking it down. I got my boy that owned the car out of Friday. The guy who owned Big Worm car ain't never ever did an interview ever. The dude, this is the kind of dudes that don't sit in front of cameras and talk. You know what I'm saying? They don't take pictures, right? He like, I just send it over. I know a lot of them. Yeah, so you know, I used to be one of them, but he's that guy, and I had to press him, man. I'm like, look, man. These cats are swearing up and down that was they shit, that somebody else built it. Everybody and their mama taking credit for that car. This man pulled out the Rolodex like wham, like here go all the pictures when it was in pieces. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my car. You know what I'm saying? I said, well, you gotta set history straight. So he came in and he started talking about cars and money. It was like, man, he said, my car, what he said? The car worth $300,000. Easy. Car ain't even running yet. It's worth $300,000. You know what I'm saying? So Then you got my boy, it's another TJ out of Vegas, my homeboy. His shot, he in there talking. He started teaching classes too. And that's what we're doing. A lot of my guys, they teaching classes. Harley Drew and them, dirtbags, they teaching classes. Big Dane teaching classes. I'm teaching classes. All of us, like, if you want something done, homie, do it yourself. If you want something done right, we got to do it ourselves. And that's why a lot of my guys is doing it. So now the LAUSD trying to jump in. Oh, we want to work with y'all. We want to give y'all some bread, you know. I'm like, don't get used to them doing that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us stepping out the shadows, and now education is starting to realize that they got to change now because they about to get left behind. You see what I'm saying? They looking at the car dealerships want to do business, is doing business with us, and we over there building cars for Elon Musk and working for all these companies, not working for them. We got contracts with them. We don't want no job paying no $200,000-300,000.
Right.
Like, dude, give me a contract. Give me a contract. You better sign this agreement where I'll advise y'all and come down there and teach a few classes to your employees. See, that's another thing. You know, that's what I talk about in the doc, man. It's like, y'all, people looking down on mechanics, dude. And that's the craziest thing in the world, because these is the brothers that follow through with the Booker T. Washington plan. So we don't want to work for y'all. We want y'all to buy from us. We don't even want to buy from y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like my boy said, you didn't see this in the doc. He said they didn't even want to do Pimp My Ride. None of us did. We don't want to come on TV and do all of that. We already making money. You're going to give us $4 million, that ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? $5 million, that ain't enough. That ain't worth my time to be sitting there listening to y'all dealing with all this stuff, you know? So these is the brothers that ain't never sold out. You know what I'm saying? Because they are, when the person already got money, they ain't gotta sell their people out. They ain't gotta sit back and bend over and do nothing stupid, you know? So that's this whole documentary is about to revolutionize what economics look like. And I tell you straight like this, if we would have not listened to the voice and stuck with Booker T, this is the documentary from Booker T put out. How about that? This is what it looked like when you do the things the Booker T way. Because you looking at a bunch of brothers say, I ain't worried about no money. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got credit. We just pay cash for everything, you know? We shipping cars and motorcycles around the world. We got second and third generation over here. You know, our kid, my son just took over. You know what I'm saying? I'm training my grandkids up right now. You know what I'm saying? Generational. So they came out to talk about that for me, and I really, really, really am grateful for that. Because, dude, I just got accepted into another film festival today called the Trail Film Festival in, I think it's in August or something like that. And that's big, man, because I submitted.
That's in Texas? That's Bun B or?
No, that's out here. That's out here in Hollywood. It's coming up in August. I think it's August. It's called the Trail Film Festival. So I just got accepted to that, and it's another one I'm going to. But long story short, you know, I just want people to know, oh, we got another brother out of Vegas named TJ, Vegas TJ, and his shop just burnt to the ground, man. He has 6,000 square feet of custom cars and race cars and lowriders and muscle cars, you know what I'm saying?
Conspiracy. Somebody done, that's fucked up right there, man.
He said, you know, I still ain't talked to him yet because there's so much going on. But he said that they was tuning the car in there, and the car must have jumped gear and just boom, blew up, just blew up and just burnt the shop to the ground, man. Luckily, they got a lot of people out, got everybody out of there, got a couple cars out, but it was bad, homie. It was like 6,000 square feet of custom cars. Cars worth 300,000, you know what I'm saying? 50,000, 100, 200,000 up in there. Man, however many cars you can fit in 6,000 square feet, that's what he lost. You feel me? So that was epic, man. That was like one of the biggest losses we had in my whole 35 years of car building stuff. You feel me? I ain't never seen nothing like that before. It happened to a custom lowrider shop or a custom car shop, you know. So it got a question in the back of my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because he talks about it. He talked about it on the doc. You know, about what he doing, what he did. You know what I'm saying? Before this, while he's sitting in the shop, you seen him sitting there with the two SS's in the background. You know, the bubble window SS's. Talking about that's the money. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, it talks about other things that we did with this money, you know what I'm saying? The relationships we got as car builders, they talk about stuff like that. So it's gonna be an epic documentary, bro. And you know, I just want people to see, y'all, people been talking to the wrong people. These schools, they bringing all these other people out to talk to the kids. What about the car builders over there that's all successful? That help you tear down this school and build a brand new school in Compton, you know? Building 3 schools. So it's stuff like that. But then most importantly, if we're going to fix the problem, homie, you know, and I know it's controversial and I do want people to see the doc, but I want people to know, man, look, if we're going to fix this problem, y'all got to realize who is the problem. You see what I'm saying? And you may be the problem and not realize it's you. Because now what we doing is so big and it's so many people that created wealth off of it that the government had to step in and say, we shutting all this shit down. We passing laws gonna ban all classic cars. We're gonna ban the right to work on your own car, they say, right? But Trump say, I just heard it when I got on here with y'all, so I ain't had time to research it. Trump signed a bill saying, no, you're not finna stop people from working with their hands. Trump just passed that bill. So I need for people to stop hating and realize we got one. But my thing is, I don't need these Du Boises popping up saying, well, we don't want to work with our hands. You know what I'm saying? We got to cut all that out. We don't bother y'all. Y'all leave us alone. If they want to be mechanics, let them be mechanics. If they want to be contractors and build houses, let them. Don't get all and say that ain't going to work. We need AI. So here we go. They trying to push AI. I'm like, AI ain't necessarily working right. You know what I'm saying? The robots is messing up. Did you see General Motors had laid off a whole bunch of people because they had replaced them with robots, and then all of a sudden the robots was messing up, and now they went back and hired 350 of their baddest mechanics to come figure out what was going on. And they like, damn, I think we messed up. We didn't let all these guys go. But now the dealers are so mad at us because they realize they play these bad games by teaching. They'll tell the mechanic, oh, you can fix this in 3 hours, right? And the mechanics like, that can't be fixed for 4 hours. 4 days, that's a 3-day job. So that's why they quitting those jobs and they coming over here working with us and starting their own custom car shops. But anyway, that's the stuff. So we need people to know that and vote and make sure they work with Trump on that bill to don't pass that bill. Don't let these car dealers come in there tell us that we can't work on our own cars. Don't let these car dealers come in there with all this new stuff talking about, oh, we're going to send a notification off to his insurance company that he be speeding or she be slamming on the brakes too fast, you know?
Nah, like I said, man, I'm not Republican or Democrat. If you know, I just like, you know, Obama had things I like, he had things I don't like. Trump got got a lot of things I don't like, but if he doing something like that, I gotta, you know, we gonna give him his props for that. You know what I'm saying? We can't not give him his props if he doing something that's helping out our community. You know, because but you know that's just real. That's how I look at it. So now, when is your when the documentary available for public consumption? When can we get a bar of it?
They'll be able to have it by mid-July or sooner than that. You know what I'm saying? I'm working with the companies to figure out, you know, am I going to let you download it by stream?
We gotta stop working with feelings. If you got the information to back up everything you saying, like you say, history backs it all up. Like what can you get mad at? You know what I'm saying? People gotta get out of these echo chambers and
that part
stop
for real.
being scared of reality, man. What's real?